Hello, everyone. We are going to discuss the emerging issues and impacts of technology in classroom learning of students. I am Trisha May M. Alcantara, and I'm going to discuss with Mary Ann Aquario, Mary Joyce Anthony, and Monica Malayo. Technology is a part of everything we do daily in today's world, and many people cannot imagine their lives without the current technological advancements. The use of technology has also altered education in aiding both teaching and learning experiences inside the classroom. Herzig believes that technology plays a vital role in shifting from traditionally teacher centered classes to student centered ones. But despite the role the technology plays in facilitating teaching and learning, there are still classes that are fully teacher centered with no or limited integration of technology. Some teachers are resistant to incorporating technology into their classrooms because they are not interested to technology or they are not aware of its use to a certain extent. And though technology made learning experience to greatly improve and its benefits to students and their learning are undeniable, issues like teachers' lack of technological knowledge continue to exist. And now we are going to discuss more of these emerging issues and the impacts of technology in classroom learning. But before that, here is Mary Ann Aquario to discuss some technological trends used in classroom learning.
Thank you, Trisha. Hi, I am Marian Aquario and I'm going to discuss the technological trends used in classroom learning based on the findings of the article. Teachers use technology to enhance learning and their students be involved with the activities and pay more attention with the subject they teach. And these are technological trends they use in classroom learning. First, we have social media. Social media help the teachers and the students stay connected with each other even outside the school for learning purposes. It provides them unlimited resources that they can use to enhance more their learnings. It makes them be updated with the informations online. It is used also on requirements like for example on Facebook, teachers will ask their students to create something like poster or slogan about their about a certain topic and post it online to complete the requirement. Usually, teacher will require number of likes or reaction for it. So, aside from completing the requirements, the students also share what they know to other people. Next is gamification. The idea of gamification theory in education is that the learners learn best when they are having fun. It gets the attention of the students well and increases the appeal of learning processes. It also retains more the knowledge in students' mind rather than on a normal way of discussion. It makes the student master their learnings, be more competitive, and socialize more with their classmates. Next is blended learning, which is the mixture of learning methods like face-to-face and e-learning or online learning. There are different kinds of learning modes. Online mode, like what we are using now during the pandemic. Next is flex or flexible learning. This is where instructional materials were delivered online or in a through courier. Next is face-to-face, like what we do before this pandemic. Next is ebooks. It is used to make out-of-print works available. It is more convenient since you can access it anytime and anywhere you want. It can be online or offline. It helps the students to interact more with the learning materials that has an enhanced learning experience. Next is remote learning. It is also called the distance learning. It happens when the teacher and the learner won't be able to meet physically due to time and distance. For example, today that we are on a pandemic, to protect ourselves from other people, we have to stay at home all the time. And that separates us from our teachers, so we use different online platforms to communicate with them. It can be synchronously or asynchronously. And lastly, the self-directed professional development. It is when the learner can pursue something outside his or her course For example, is online tutorials. It is for the learner to achieve their personal interest, skill, and goals outside the classroom learning.
After being aware of the technological trends used in education faculty, I will tell you how these technological trends affect classroom learning. Also, I will try to answer how can the article be useful in the context of teaching and learning. First, on the impacts of technology in classroom learning is that it helps accommodate different learning styles of students. Classrooms are diverse environments in which no two pupils are alike, and according to learning style theories, everyone can learn if they are taught personalized to their learning styles. And educators can use technology to meet the three primary learning styles of students: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Visual learners learn best by reading directions and seeing demonstrations. They often need to see concepts and ideas through pictures, diagrams, and charts. And educators can utilize technology to create and present visual aids like PowerPoint presentations and YouTube videos to assist their students in understanding the lesson. Auditory learners comprehend and remember information through listening and speaking. Presentations and public speaking assignments would accommodate these learning styles. And since the students learn through hearing, their teachers can reach them by using some technological tools such as audiobooks, recorded lessons, webinars, and podcasts. And allowing the students to use recording devices to playback lessons while studying would be a good idea. Kinesthetic learners need to perform interactive activities to understand new concepts and ideas. They thrive while working on hands-on projects, and educational apps and games on smartphones and tablets will help these learners. And as for personalized teaching, it also improves students' learning of critical concepts and ideas. Because of self-paced learning and individual differences, students will nearly always finish their works at various times. When this happens, teachers can maintain their students' attention by providing them an access to educational videos, course-based games, or any interactive learning tools. And here's where technology eases the pressure on learners. The biggest pressure comes from time sensitivity. Students are often under the pressure of deadlines and being behind their schoolworks. But with the integration of technology, faster paced students will no longer have to wait for all of their classmates to finish before they can continue learning, and slower paced learners will be relieved of the pressure to rush through their work. Technology also broadens learning opportunities for students. It provides teachers and students an access to many educational tools that foster creativity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration. With technology, students have an opportunity to learn at any point of the day, anywhere in the world. If they have an access to resources, a device, and materials, they can learn. And technology with being in their hands allows them to learn 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. And as they use technology as means of learning, they are also addressing online information seeking in the context of a more complex learning process.
In continuation with the impacts of technology in classroom learning, technology promotes the development of communication skills. In the rise of digital communication, technology really helps us to promote the development of communication skills by allowing us to learn some written communication to different audiences, like for example through emails, presentations, group messages, personal messages, and more. Using technology to communicate is considered a skill because not everyone has the ability or the chance to learn it. Before, on face-to-face, we students and teachers use technology as a help or support in our classroom learning. But now, during pandemic, we use it all the time to communicate with our classmates and our teachers. Next is, it motivates me to get more involved in learning activities. Technology captures more the interest of students, admit it or not, unlike with the normal way or the old way of teaching. We all know that learners today were born in digital world. Everyone seems to use and give interest on using it. Through technology, teachers motivates the learners through well-organized PowerPoint presentations, gamifications, like some technological trends, so that the students will be engaged more with the activities or tasks they need to accomplish. Next is promotes the development of my interpersonal skills. For example, the ability to relate or work with. Since technology provides us easier way of living, we can see how it impacts the development of our interpersonal skills. We can communicate easier and in a faster way to others like with our classmates and teachers. In short, communication now is instant. Next is, it makes me feel more competent as a learner. Technology provides us the things we need in learning. All the things we want to know, learn, can be searched in the internet. It makes every individual have the opportunity to study and know things on their own using the internet. It is the last three among the result on the survey, maybe because when we are on face-to-face, we usually depend more on our teacher rather than using the technology. Next is, it promotes greater peer collaboration. This is second to the last of the result, since on face-to-face, we socialize more with our friends and classmates personally. That is why we barely use technology for peer collaboration. This applies only today since we can't attend face-to-face. We use different platforms like here in Zoom, Google Meet, MS Teams, and many more so that we can meet and attend classes. Lastly, it helps me stay connected with my instructors for learning purposes. So this is the list one on the survey. During face-to-face, we usually, most of the time, we ask questions with our teachers and also receive announcement in person. That is why we don't use technology all the time to communicate with them. But now, all the materials we need in learning, communicating with our instructors for learning purposes really need the use of technology. So those are the impacts of technology in classroom learning. So Anthony and Malayo will discuss the emerging issues of technology in classroom learning.
Good day, everyone. I'm Registry Anthony, and I'm here to talk about some emerging issues of technology in classroom learning. So, the first emerging issues is that technology provides a disconnect of students from face to face social activities. We know that as technology upgrades every passing time, we can deny that it really affects our social life activities. And biggest changes is that we rarely see kids playing outside, playing any street games or Filipino games, even before this pandemic. And in the article, they are somewhat agree that technology really disconnects us students from face-to-face social activities. And we may agree on that. Back then, we still have a choice whether to socialize or not. Unlike now, we don't have any choice but to really disconnect from our face-to-face social life activities. And it is not because of technology, but rather thanks to technology that we still have a social life. So the second emerging issues is that students do not have equal access to technology resources. Back then, it is not really an issue because we can share. When our professor or teacher assign us to watch something on YouTube or in our website and make a reflection about it, well, some of our friends or some of our classmates will download it and share it to those who don't have an access in internet. And when our friends really don't have any devices to watch it, we watch it together. We share what we have. So that's why it's not an issue because there's a lot of way. Unlike now that even if we want to help, to share, we can't. So the education for all become the education only for those who have access in technology resources. So the third emerging issue is that technology takes away our learning time. If teachers and students are not experienced with technology in classroom, valuable time is wasted on technical troubles. Well, it says that teachers and students are not experienced. Of course, it takes away our learning time on fixing these technical troubles. But the thing is, in our generation, some of us have enough knowledge on fixing this. That's why every time that there are technical problems in our presentation, someone will help fix it. We help each other. And it just takes a bit of our learning time. Comparing this online class, when some of our profs have technical difficulties, we can't be there to fix it. The only thing that we can do is to give instruction. So the fourth emerging issue is that technology can foster more cheating in class and on assignments. We know that students just want to pass and to survive, but it really not acceptable reason. Face-to-face class, teachers can roam around to watch us. Teachers don't have any limitation, unlike now. Teachers have a limitation on what they can see, and they really can stop us on cheating. And that's really an issue right now. With all the issues that I discussed, I think one of the real issue right now is that with the integration of technology, sometimes teachers were replaced by it. It is also mentioned in the article and it caught my attention because in our situation right now, we rely more on technology. And what I observe is that as some students take advantage of using technology, well, some teachers too. In this online class, some teachers just give a lot of assignments and activities and just let their students answer it on their own, saying that you can just search it in the internet with some tutorials in YouTube. The responsibility to teach are now replaced by the technology. Our responsibility falls by the technology. Technology should just help us, but not to do all the work. Let's use technology, but don't let technology use us. Don't let technology take away our purpose. Everyone is at fault. Both students and teachers are responsible for this, so we don't have to blame each other. We must address this issue because as a future teacher, I don't want to be replaced by technology. And the other emerging issues will be tackled by Monica. Monica?
I am Monica Malaya of Group 5, and I'm going to present the 5 last emerging issues of technology in classroom learning. Teachers' lack of technological knowledge results in poor teaching. Distraction during the discussion is the very first issue that each of the students will be facing. While the teacher is managing to make a solution for the error that is occurring, the students will make other matters that can lead to the distraction of the whole class. Due to the wasted time, skipping of the other lesson will also happen. The parts that the teacher might think are self-explanatory will not be discussed anymore. On the other hand, if the problem on the class will not be solved, the very worst scenario will happen, which is ending the class. Then, the time for discussion is no longer being used for it. The next issue is laptop uses by other students interrupt non-laptop users during lecture. There are instances during online discussion, some students are leaving the meeting automatically due to poor of internet connection. Some students who do not access the laptop cannot access the lessons due to its lack of resources. The resources that I am pointing with the other applications that are being used on laptops or sometimes cannot be accessed on mobile phone. Because of those problems, those students who do not use laptops are being left behind during the discussion. Increased distraction. Technology is welcomed by students due to its entertaining factor is the next issue that I am going to discuss. The more distraction is the lesser the listening. It is always happening inside a classroom. We all know that technology is one of the best entertainer for today's generation. Because of overusage of technology, most of the students are not focused on their studies. Instead of being focused on studying, they are more focused on using the gadgets. As what we can observe nowadays, most of the people are being brought by the technology in the other world, which is the virtual one. And because of it, many of the students are tempted to skip classes. The next issue is decreased critical thinking, analyzing, and understanding skills. Everything is available and all you have to do is choose. We humans have different level of thinking, but because of the use of the technology, most of the students depends now on searching for the answers online. Their critical thinking skills are no longer being used. They prefer to do what they think makes them easy. Just like critical thinking skills, their creativity is also no longer used. There are lots of ideas that we can find in the internet. As a result, the students are becoming lazy as time passes by. The more the technology is growing, the number of students who strives harder decreases. The last issue is decreased classroom participation. Due to the distraction that the technology is giving the students, most of them are not attentive anymore. Because of it, they become more bored during the discussion. They are making other stuff just to entertain themselves, such as playing games on their mobile phone, listening to music, and also watching movies or some videos. And also because of the boredom, some of them are focusing on the remaining time of the class. They count it how many minutes are still left to end the class. And for the abstract, what we have found out in the article entitled The Emerging Issues and Impacts of Technology in Classroom Learning is that most of the technological trends used in classroom based on the article are social media, gamification, and blended learning. Maybe in social media, like what we usually do before when we was in high school, teachers require us to post our output online that requires a minimum of reactions and share, like for example, 50 likes to meet the requirements. While in gamification, it is one of the common way to make the students be more engaged with activities and learn the topics easily. Blended learning. We are all familiar with it, which is the mixture of face-to-face and online learning. Being on technological based learning is an advantage, but on the contrary, it is also a disadvantage in means of some experience, or should we say, on improving our critical thinking skills. So thank you. That's all what we've got. This is the group 5, and thank you for your time.